Hayley, is it true that not only you had to do months and months of training for this, to do combat training and stunt training, but also the sleight of hand stuff that you did as well?
Yeah.
And I'm no expert, but...
Ah, very good.
And that's my house key, so I can't lose it. I'll pop that safely back there.
That was really good.
I'm so glad that worked out well. Continue.
I had that idea I came up with because they wanted a moment where she has to hand over a key at some point, but she's obviously got her hands up surrendering. And so I knew I had, similar to you, just one go at pitching the idea to Tom. So I was like practicing it. How could I hide it from the back of my hand? But we'd practiced for months. I was always playing with coins and keys on set to kind of get my hands sort of working and dexterous and nimble enough to be able to kind of do that quickly.
That key is so sweaty. Because when coming in here, I was like sweaty palms.
I know, tell me about it, right?
God, I don't know how you did it. It was so good. I wonder, I know that you said before, this character is built on you, which is incredible for a movie role. It's just not, really don't hear that these days.
Yeah.
But is there something that your character was really good at? It doesn't have to be a stunt, just something big or small that you yourself would probably struggle with.
Oh, that's a really good question. What would my character struggle with what would I would struggle with that my character do?
Your character's amazing at.
Probably lying.
Oh my God, I was about to say lying.
I can't lie. I'm terrible. I don't know if you know that there's a game called Mafia, a werewolf. I'm so bad at it, which is really ironic as an actor. I'm just rubbish. But I think she's very good. She's good at distracting people and doing something behind their back. I'm terrible.
Well, you did say that was a really good question, so now I feel better because you weren't lying. You're being honest.
There you go, exactly.
Now, when you're working with someone like Tom, and I mean, just does everything, stunts aside. He picked up the camera the other day at a premiere and was taking photos. Yeah. Does it make you kind of feel like, maybe I should have a go at doing that stunt myself, or maybe I can do this, that maybe sometimes normally you would be like, oh no, professionals only?
Yeah, completely. Well, because he demystifies the process. So I was invited into every production meeting. He'd be like, can I share about lenses with you? Can I talk about the composition in a frame? Can I see how lighting from that direction casts a shadow, which implies that person is actually withholding information? Things like, have you noticed that if you wear this colored jumper next to your skin tone, it creates an illusion that you're unwell? Or so if you're doing a scene where you feel a bit sick, just put on a yellow jumper. You don't. He was very generous at sharing his technical knowledge of the power of storytelling on camera. And that meant that it felt accessible to me. Yeah. And I didn't feel like I was overstepping a mark if I had a question about what that composition of frame was actually communicating to an audience, or finding a language to articulate what we as audience members instinctively feel when we watch a frame. And so I loved that about working with him. He wants to share his knowledge.
Has that ever happened before? Have you ever had someone be so generous?
Never to this scale. I mean, there was at one point, I think, where he was doing his own hair and makeup because in the middle of a pandemic. I've seen him be a focus puller at one point. I've seen him do the clapperboard. He's moving massive props, just trying to help out to save time. Everything, he's attentive to everything. And what I loved about that is it made me feel that I could be too, this is my craft, and it's not just about the acting side of things, but it's about being interested and welcome to find out more about other departments and how they work, because we're all collaborating together.
Well, look, I have loved you in so many things, and I feel like this movie is just made for you. You just slotted straight into the universe so well, and it was just fantastic. Aww. Finally, it's Tom's birthday tomorrow. What have you got him for his birthday? Besides a premiere, which is the best gift we could ever give him.
So good. It really is, because he loves movies. So being out here, and he loves Sydney, spent a lot of time here. The birthday before last, I got him a collage. A friend of mine is an artist, and he drew pictures of every location we'd been on, and all fun little in-jokes
Yeah.
that we'd all had from there, and created this Mission Impossible map that I framed, and I wrapped it in material that he could then have a shirt made out of.
Present.
It was really good. And I was like, oh no. And but also because the film went on for longer than planned,
Yeah.
I was like,
You're
how am I going to top that? I was like, no, that was meant to
Socks.
be the present. I'm like, oh no. Yeah.
Well, look, like I said, it's just fantastic. I could not take my eyes off the screen, and I loved seeing you in this movie. And we're so glad to have you in Australia, and I can't wait to see you at the premiere. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.